this random location in PJ, actually not so random, we've been told that this Honda City, the new one, is here. So we came to see it. This is the preview sample. It's not the production spec, but more or less this is what we're going to see when it's launched in Malaysia. This car is going to be going on a little roadshow around Klang Valley. You'll see a lorry over there. It'll be driving around for a few days, and then on the weekend it's going to be at Sunway Pyramid and Cheras Tesco. So if the locations change, we'll let you know, but for now we can have a closer look at the car. In this version, this is the RS, the full spec version. We're not going to get the turbo. In Thailand we get the 1 litre turbo, so here we're going to get an RS version with the e-HEV branding. So you know how VTEC was big in the 90s? Honda wants to make e-HEV 2020's power plant branding is going to be e-HEV. So e-HEV basically means it's got sort of hybrid system. Their hybrid system in this one is called the i-MMD. See, it's a lot of acronyms and all that, but it all stands for something. And we'll go through the power plant later. We won't be able to see it, but let's start with the back here. This is the RS body kit. So you get this black wing, you get this diffuser at the back, the bottom, with this carbon fiber kind of skin. Actually, if you step back and you look at the car, just like the previous generation City, the sort of silhouette is very similar. It's just that they've rounded out the corners, they've made it a little bit more curvy. But when you zoom into the details, then you can see, some things have changed. Like the wheelbase is slightly shorter, I think. The car itself is also slightly shorter, but it's also a little bit wider and a little bit longer. So still in the B segment size, but some dimensions have changed. At the back, this shape is a bit familiar. I think a lot of you will recognize it from the new 3 Series, but now you can have it in a Honda tail light signature in a U shape, and it's all LEDs now. In the previous model, it was halogen bulbs. We can see here the blue color lining around the Honda badge. That signifies that it's a hybrid. And if you come over here, of course, you get the e-HEV branding. We first saw this at last year's Tokyo Motor Show when they unveiled this whole e-HEV branding. They started it with the Honda Jazz, and as you can see, this car doesn't really look like the new Honda Jazz. The new Honda Jazz has a much cleaner look. I think we might see that here, but for now the City basically just takes the cleaner design language and transplants it onto the existing body. But yeah, Honda says a lot of things have changed in the chassis. Let's have a look at the rims. 16 inch, the previous model also the top spec was 16 inch if I'm not mistaken. Dual tone. I think the design is slightly different. Looks like PCD 4x100, but it could be 114. I don't have a tape measure right now. We can't open these doors, they're all sealed up, and as you can see, the tint is very strong, so we can't really look inside. Yeah, absolutely nothing. So I don't know if it's leather seats or fabric seats. There's a teaser video, you can go and have a look and see what they put inside. Yeah, from the teaser video, actually, the one thing that it did confirm was that it has an electronic parking brake. Other than that, not very sure what spec will be brought in here. We can see up here, this is the only thing we can see in the interior, is the Honda sensing camera. So like we mentioned before, this is not the production version. This is just the development spec. So we're not sure if Honda sensing will be brought in, but what we're sure of is this camera here. So this is called Honda Lane Watch. Honda Lane Watch was introduced on the previous Accord and the CR-V, and then they brought it in the Civic facelift, and then now it's here in the B segment. No other B segment sedan has this. So in the front, for the first time, well, this new daytime running light and LED headlight look. The previous facelift City had LED headlights, but this time you can see it's a bit more aggressive looking, and the front grille is actually quite dramatic, kind of curves in like that, honeycomb structure. Much cleaner look, I think, than the previous City. A little bit more curvy, a little bit more sporty, at the same time a little bit more clean. The only thing that's not so clean is maybe the carbon fiber skin here, but Honda said this is not what the final look is going to be. They might change the texture on the Malaysian model, so we'll see. but the back one does kind of look like this. And yeah, because it's a hybrid again, the front badge has a blue line around it. You can see it there. And the whole front face is in piano black, glossy, shiny, and there's RS badging here. So of course, on the other model, the not RS model, it probably won't look so aggressive. There might be an optional modulo body kit and all that, but yeah, this is the general look of the top spec RS model. So since we're in the front and we can kind of see the radiator, not the engine, we can talk about the engine a little bit. With the hybrid in here, it's actually not like the previous Honda City Hybrid. The previous Honda City Hybrid had a 1.5 litre DOHC motor and then like a DCT with a, what is it called? IDCD, I think. So it was a hybrid, but a mild hybrid. This time it's the opposite. Most of the time it's going to be running on electric, and only when you're cruising and when it's trying to recover energy, that's when the petrol engine will be used more often. So because of that, because it's mostly electric, the amount of torque you're going to get, 253, I think, 253 Newton meters. That's higher than any B segment. Even if it's turbocharged, it's higher than any B segment car. So yes, we're not getting the City 1 litre turbo, but this i-MMD system is actually more powerful than that. Of course, there might be some limitations because the battery might start to, if you keep, whacking it and whacking it and whacking it, then you might need to recharge the batteries a little bit before you can get maximum power. But the way Honda has designed this i-MMD system is so that you're going to get more fuel savings and more power more of the time. It's a really more electric than petrol kind of hybrid. Very interesting stuff. And I don't know if you can see it, but in the background you see world premiere. Malaysia is the first country in the world to get the City with i-MMD. Last year at 2019 Tokyo Motor Show, they said they're going to go big with this whole hybrid e-HEV program, and amazingly Malaysia was chosen as the first place to debut this model. So I think as Malaysians we can be a bit proud of that lah. We love our Hondas here, so this is our little reward for showing our love for Honda. Besides that, well, not a lot of specs were shown. From what I've been told, bookings are going to be open soon or already open, and if you book it now, you get a 1,000 ringgit service voucher which you can redeem on your car when you send it in. I think this thing is going to rock the market. The previous City was like a game changer. It introduced a lot of features, capacitive buttons on the climate control, a hybrid system in a B segment sedan. This time I think the lane watch, the possible Honda sensing, and the i-MMD system is like another revolution of its own. So yeah, that's it. That's the preview of the Honda City RS. Head to any of those locations we mentioned earlier and you can check it out yourself this weekend. See you.
You are all I see, can't take my eyes on you. You know